Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. So the other day I was looking up bone spurs. Someone I know had a condition similar to bone spurs. So bone spurs are when you have collagen and calcium phosphate deposits on your bones in places that it's not supposed to be. All right, and this causes discomfort. So, your teeth are made up of calcium and phosphate. I want to assume that your bones are made out of calcium and phosphate. That's why it's over there, right? So, what happens is, apparently there's a part of the kidneys that doesn't function properly in eliminating or managing calcium in your body. And as a result, that calcium gets deposited in your tissues or in places that they're not supposed to go, which causes pain. Like, you know what I mean? You also have things that people always complain about: oxalates. Oxalates contain, from my understanding, calcium. And there's a lot of oxalates in a lot of the leafy greens that we eat, like kale, spinach, bok choy, broccoli. So those things can increase your chances of getting kidney stones.
For about 24 miles, continue straight.
I'm listening to my GPS, I'm sorry. So, one of the ways to optimize kidney function is to try to limit the amount of calcium that you consume and stay away from calcium-rich foods like cheese, yogurt, milk, and like I said, calcium, broccoli, kale, spinach. And then there's some other stuff, there's some beans that you got to stay away from, chickpeas, some of the foods that are very healthy, like broccoli has so much good stuff in it, I spoke about broccoli even when it comes to erectile dysfunction. Like, broccoli is a good thing to have for your nervous system, So, it's rough. But, when I was looking up the fact that calcium deposits are a big culprit when it comes to restricting kidney function or causing even kidney stones or just causing bone spurs. When I encountered that, I thought about, wait a minute, so how can I flush my kidneys? Drinking water. But, there's some water where they add calcium, and that's these alkaline waters, these smart waters, and even spring water may naturally contain some of these electrolytes, or what I prefer to call them, and I might be wrong, alkali earth metals: magnesium, sodium, calcium, and bananas got potassium. I don't think potassium is in the water system. I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Maybe potassium is in those smart waters and stuff like that. But it's usually they add calcium carbonate, and they add some kind of magnesium compound or molecule or whatever. And that I would think that wouldn't really be helpful, you know what I mean? Even though it's just a small amount enough to raise the pH to about between 8 and 9. So, is my GPS talking to me? No, it's not. So, let's keep it on screen. Come on. Okay, it doesn't want to come on screen. So, I was thinking about that, and I thought about, wait, which water can I get that doesn't have anything in it? No fluoride, no chlorine, no scale, no deposits, no added alkali earth metals in order to raise the pH. What water can I get? Distilled water. So I went on YouTube and I looked up distilled water for healing, and a Dr. Berg video came up, and Dr. Berg was recommending it if you suffer with kidney stones or if you're fasting. He wouldn't recommend it as your main mode of hydration all the time, because some people believe that it flushes out and takes away your nutrients because it's just straight up water that doesn't have anything in it. So it's basically sucking out, kind of absorbing those minerals from your body. But in the case of your kidneys now, if your kidneys aren't functioning totally right, it would make sense to drink water like that, because it would be able to flush out those heavy deposits that are maybe clogging or interfering with your kidneys functioning correctly. And then I went into his comments on that video, and one lady said she had stage 4 kidney failure, which I would interpret that must mean stage 4 renal failure, right? I'm not a doctor. And she said she brought it from stage 4 to stage 3, and now her levels are normal. I don't know what she quoted, some acronym. I guess it's some protein. I'm not sure. But she said her kidney, whatever markers they use to measure kidney function, they're working fine. So that was inspiring to me. And some other people, in the comments were says they've been drinking distilled water for many years, and they've been drinking it. One person said they've been drinking distilled water for something like 47 years or 87 years. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I feel like it was 87 years. I was like, what? And you're on the internet commenting? God bless you, man. That's wonderful. So it must have said 47 years. It couldn't have been 87 years. No way. Maybe. I don't know. If you're 90, that person is probably about 90 something, almost 100 years old, watching YouTube and commenting. No. I think my memories doesn't serve me right. I think it's 47 years. The person said they've been drinking distilled water for 47 years. So, in my limited opinion, I know someone personally who through my own diagnosis, I'm not a doctor, I have, kind of suspected that their kidneys aren't working correctly. And they get a lot of headaches, especially when they eat almost anything. And when they eat stuff like, especially bananas, can have them shut down, can have them really in a bad way. So I'm like, sounds like your kidneys aren't filtering out these salts properly. So you need to drink more water. But now I'm thinking you need to not just drink more water or drink spring water. You need to drink distilled water to flush that stuff out. Maybe you'll be, maybe that'll help you. I don't know. But, it's just something to investigate. But, you can get distilled water at the pharmacy. I'm not plugging any specific vendor, but Walgreens seem to have it a lot. I just came out of CVS, and I was thinking about just being a consumer and just consuming and buying something, but I really just needed to go to the ATM. But I just wanted to consume something, so I was like, wait a minute, do you have any? I was looking around for distilled water. They didn't have any in CVS, so I think it was maybe, I don't know how many days ago, to Walgreens, maybe about 4 days ago, they had probably, I don't know, like 3 bottles. Because a lot of people use them to make their baby formula, because it's like the purest form of water that you can get. It's like the purest form of water you can get. Now, going back to my my post about Yaki Awaken, which is another online guru kind of guy, another online healthcare celebrity figure. Yaki Awaken doesn't really subscribe to drinking straight up. He would advise against drinking distilled water, because he would probably say that it's going to take away all the nutrients. He would advise you to drink something called H3O2. And you get H3O2 by eating fruits, eating living foods, fruits and plants and stuff like that. So I really don't know, about H3O2 too much, but it seems to be a real thing. It is a real thing, apparently. I forgot where I encountered it again after hearing him talking about it. When I first heard Yaki Awaken talk about H3O2, I said, what is this guy even talking about? Later on, I found out that is a thing that's inside plant tissues. So, by eating plants and stuff. But I don't know if you're going to get much hydration just eating plants. But maybe it's possible you can get it by eating plants. I would assume probably from watermelons, because a lot of people talk about watermelons. Watermelons are good for almost everything. It has a whole bunch of micronutrients in it. Yada, 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 watermelon. So I don't know, but you got to verify that for yourself. I don't know what plants are high in H3O2, but when it comes to hydration, or it comes to water or whatever, I can only think of a few plants that have a lot of water in them, and that's aloe vera and watermelon and cactus. And I don't think they sell cactus in the store, so yeah. But I don't really got much else to say. Water is something that's very important. Of course, 75% of our bodies is water. I just was talking about when my son asked me, if your skull cracks, will you pass away? I say, well, no, I don't think so. If you listen to my episode on the frontal lobes, I just basically say that, I don't think so. As long as your brain doesn't dry out, or the mid part or the back part or the base of your brain doesn't get damaged, you should be all right. Your frontal lobe can be damaged and you still remain mobile, functional for the most part, but your personality will be affected, which is very important. But regarding just sustaining life, you only need like your middle brain going right back to the part connected to the base of your brain. But the frontal lobes, those could be damaged, and you can still exist. Still not necessarily have a full life, but you'll be alive, and you'll be able to speak, intellectualize, things, and work. Maybe you'll be able to play, but I think play is part of your personality, so you'll probably just be able to do physical labor and just, I don't really know what the limitations are, but the frontal lobes, since historically doctors have been doing frontal lobotomies in the past, it would indicate that the front part of your brain isn't gonna, losing it isn't gonna take your life, So, but at the same time, we're not gonna risk it. We're not gonna put it at risk. We're gonna wear our helmets. We're gonna wear our seat belts. We're gonna engage in safe behavior, and we're gonna, protect our whole brain, protect our whole spine, protect our whole bodies. You know what I mean? So he asked that question, and it really inspired a lot of thought. And I thank him for that question. And that's all I really got to say, Kidneys are very important. I'm always talking about kidneys and liver. I mostly talk about kidneys and liver in relation to regulating hormones, especially when it comes towards behavior. But it's more important. A lot is more important than that. Like behavior, one, but also for your hair. Like I said, well, not like I said. You have to go back to my other recordings because I forget stuff. But the liver and kidneys, very important in hair, looking good, all of that. I've also been looking into learning more about Buddha. And I was watching a video about Buddha the other day, and there was a guy who is doing some yoga, and he was making his stomach do like the wave. And I was like, how did he do that? But I remember as a kid, my father used to get up in the morning and do his exercises, and one of them he used to twist. And my father during that time, he was in his early 30s, and he was exercising. And me, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm just thinking about exercising. He was exercising since his early 30s. So, God bless him. So, but, I've come to the opinion that exercising, twisting, stretching, working out those organs on the inside is very important. Working out, sweating especially. What's going on? What you want? Oh, you're good. Working out, sweating really helps to take stress off your liver and kidneys by removing impurities through your skin. So, that really helps. I can't remember the last time I sweat. So it might be good to go to the sauna. But hey, I'm going off on tangents that I didn't even need to or want to go off on. But I just want to say, check out Dr. Berg's video on distilled water. Dr. Berg is all over the YouTube. He has a follow-up video.
Take exit 28 onto East Main Street.
He has a follow-up video from that video about how much water you should drink a day, which I think they say is about half your weight in liters? Half your weight in milliliters? Which one? 28? I think it's 28. Oh, whoops. Must be half your weight in milliliters or something like that. No, it can't be milliliters. Half your weight in liters would be crazy. Anyhow, I forgot. I don't remember. I didn't watch this video, but there's like an anecdotal number, like half your weight in liters or something like that. In my case, it would be half your. Now, this is a lot of conversion here, kind of. But anyhow, I weigh about 160. I wax and weigh between 162 and 150 something. Like 150 and 160. That's where my weight fluctuates depending on how sick I am. When I'm doing fine, I'm like 164. When I'm sick, I'm all the way down to like 152 or something like that. So right now I'm probably in the middle. Anyhow, so let's go on the far end. 164 divided by a half is 82. So 82 liters? No way, bro. 82 milliliters. That's not enough. Anyhow, so I'm miscalculating. Forget everything that I just said. Forget the last 2 minutes of what I just said. Yeah. Take out the Men in Black pen that wipes your memory and wipe the last 3 minutes of memory because I didn't say anything useful. But you can check with Dr. Berg. He's a real doctor. I don't think they're gonna flag his videos. He can say whatever he wants because he actually has the credentials. And thanks for listening.